Very good morning to you and welcome to Signature Morning. My name is Godwin Sunday and we are broadcasting live from Nigeria's political capital, Abuja. This morning we'll be talking about road safety and prevention measures and some of the things that you need to know. Now, why are we bringing this conversation to you this morning? We're bringing it because we already hit the Mba month. And for whatever reason, the Mba month has been known and allegedly marked to be a month where we have high level of road accidents across the federation. Now, if you go around the federation, you will know in Nigeria right now that the government is trying to fix major roads, and most roads are already fixed. And but despite the fact that these roads are intact, we still have high level of road accidents. What are civil organizations even doing and to ensure that orientations on accident preventions are carried out effectively and efficiently, driven through the modalities, and ensure that people, especially road users, will be able to harness the full potential and understand the road dynamics and the road the road signposts and all of this, especially from the grassroots. Now, I'll be joined in this conversation to help shed light on some of the things that we need to know and the preventive measures and technologies that have been introduced also to help us be safe out there, even as we begin to travel from now till December. I'm being joined by the president of Road Accident Prevention Network Center, and by extension, is the board chairman of Road Safety NGOs of Nigeria. I'm being joined by Prince Ache Ogu. You're welcome to Signature Morning, sir.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
All right. It's an honor for us to also have you here in the studio this morning. But let's delve into the conversation. Firstly, Nigerians who are curious. I want to know, firstly, what are the major factors causing road accidents? Knowing fully well that before we say that the road is bad, but right now the road is good. What are those factors causing road accidents in the country?
Yes, there are some factors, that are responsible for road accidents in Nigeria and the world over. Number one, major cause of road accidents is texting and driving. That is the leading cause right now within the city and on the highway. People text while they drive. The introduction of mobile phones into the society has increased, the issue of road accident. This might come as a surprise to many, but that is the real thing. That is the point. Especially among women, the car is automatic. So when you sit, you don't press anything, you don't change the gear, you don't do nothing. You just press your accelerator and the car moves, and they feel is okay, and they pick up their phones and begin to text and do all manner of things while they drive. That is the first factor. Then we have others like overspeeding. People overspeed, on the highways, and without taking into consideration the consequences of overspeeding. Others is double overtaking. You see another car overtaking, and you are following that car. You are not sure whether the car has observed and checked properly before it overtakes. You are following. That is where you see multiple accidents. You see 2-3 cars overtaking, then you just queue up, you follow them, maybe it's a truck. And before you get out of that lane where the truck or 2-3 truck covers, other vehicles are coming, and there's no other way you can escape. So you see those stuff there. Apart from the infrastructure issues, talking about the roads and other issues that has to do with the government putting all those in place, the road users, are mostly, involved, or let me say, are more concerned about these issues of road accident. The others has to do with let me say lack of compliance with the road safety regulations, rules and regulations. Even if an airplane is moving, there are rules and regulations you need to abide with. When you are driving, there are rules and regulations you need to keep while driving your car on the road. Though you need to know, it's not that you buy a car and put it on the road and start driving. You need to get some level of training and get yourself keyed into the rules and regulations before you put your car on the road. What do I need to do? What are the necessary precautions I need to take while driving on the road? There are several rules you need to obey. There are rules and regulations that you must obey while driving on the road. because everybody uses the roads. That's the major. Even if you fly and drop at the airport, you don't jump to your house. You don't use the helicopter to your house. You must move on the road to your houses, to your homes and all that. So we must keep those rules and regulations to ensure that you get to your home. Now, talking about this season that we are in now, there will going to be a lot of high volume of regular traffic. Because people will be traveling. Many people will be moving more than ever before on the highways to their communities. People go home coming from abroad and the rest. No matter if you fly, you must get on the road to get to your destination. So there's high volume of vehicular traffic.
Prince, I was even waiting to hear when you were listening that you mentioned spiritual dimension. Nigerians believe that most times road accidents are caused by metaphysical forces, and it's spiritual activities that probably one sorcerer somewhere wants to has casted an enchantment somewhere, and that's what has led to. How correct is this?
No, definitely you can't rule out, based on our ethnic and traditional belief, that there are spiritual forces. You can't rule it out completely. But that not, withstanding, your personal understanding and compliance with those forces will take you out of the consequences. You understand?
Okay.
Now, if you are very conscious of yourself that there are forces and other things, spiritual, whatever they think, that is on the road that want to. Now, if you are conscious of yourself, you escape those forces. That is one thing. But then, if you are not conscious and you just enter, for example, there was a day I bought a public vehicle from a beggar in Abuja here to, is it Lugbe? And it was the woman that was driving. She said, okay, God is in charge of this vehicle now. And if you see what she was driving, it was a hell. How can God be in charge of a vehicle and then you are driving rubbish? That is nonsense. So again, the passengers has a lot of role to play. You don't get into a vehicle and start sleeping and put your life, your family, and everything in the hands of the driver. The driver might be drunk, it might be under drug, it might be under other influences. You correct him or her, the driver might even fall asleep. So if you bought a vehicle and before you get to your destination, you must be on alert and ensure that the driver complies. He doesn't drive anyhow. You call him to order when he wants to misbehave, since you are in the vehicle. So everybody is involved when you talk of road accident prevention. It's not just about you alone or about the driver alone, or somebody comes to pray before the vehicle moves, and after he prays, everybody will start sleeping and put their faith in the hands of the driver, who might be drunk or who might be under drug influences. A lot of you are sleeping. Maybe you wake up in the next world. God forbid. So you must be on alert and ensure that you keep yourself and everybody is intact. So if the driver is misbehaving, you call him to order. And if he doesn't respond, along the line, you have policemen, you have several checkpoints, you have road safety on the road. You stop there and talk to them. Look, this is what this guy is doing. Please, can you call him to order? Or it's better you come down there and board another vehicle. For your own safety, if you find out that the driver is misbehaving, apart from other factors, we know our roads, the government is trying its best to fix the roads and all that, but it's a major factor. And the construction companies and others who are working on our roads need to also be called to order. Along the line, before you know, it's one lane. A road that's about 3 or 4 lanes because of construction work going on. Everybody is moving on that lane, and you see the level of eagerness and some drivers trying to maneuver and see how you see high level of road crashes along that point. If you take data analysis of what we are talking about, or if the government and those agencies that are concerned take into consideration what we are talking about. So there are some spaces or spots that have increase in road crashes based on the level of construction going on within those areas.
All right, Prince Ache, let's even look at the issues of some of the roads that have been fixed right now. When we didn't have a good road, a lot of people said that it was due to the fact that the roads were bad. So that's why we're having accidents. But right now we have a lot of good roads. Now, before the show started, I mentioned roads like Lagos-Ibadan Expressway that has been fixed. Roads like Kefi to Makurdi that has been fixed. Right, we still have a high level of accidents on this road. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a fatal accident on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I'm asking right now, Is it due to the fact that drivers are not given adequate orientation? That's why we are having more accidents on the road. Or what is responsible for the level of high rise of accidents?
It will shock you. It will shock you that Abuja is one of the leading states in Nigeria. Abuja has the best road. Yeah. But as I'm talking to you now, right now, based on data analysis, Abuja has the highest rate of road accident. Do you know why? The better the road, the more the speed. You get it?
Okay.
The better the road, the more people speed, the more people, it's like a speed lane for them. Their drive and fuel is okay. Apart from knocking down pedestrians, reckless driving is more on a good road. When the road is bad, all of them slows down. Although that one has its own consequences. When the road is bad, you see criminals, you see kidnappers and others, gagging up along those spots where the road is bad. But when the road is smooth, you see high speed and reckless overtaking and all manner of things. So everything boils down to awareness campaign. These people need to get orientation. They need to be educated. They need to know the consequences of their actions while they drive on a smooth road. Even if the government fix all the roads in Nigeria today, it's not a guarantee that you are going to have a zero accident, whatever measure, or the highway. The better the roads, the more the accident, as far as Nigeria is concerned.
So speaking of better roads, is it to say that we should have different orientations? When the road is good, an orientation program should be organized for drivers. Then when the road is bad, another different orientation should be organized for the drivers.
No, definitely it is a collective approach.
Okay.
It's going to be a collective approach. It's not just good or bad road. There must be a constant campaign. It's not just about every month. This campaign is a continuous it should be a continuous, constant campaign. From January to December. It's not about Ember month has come, let's start the campaign. Let it be beaten in the heart of everybody. Overspeeding causes this, texting and driving causes this, double overtaking this is the consequences and all that. For you to come back to your family safe and sound. It's not about prayer and miracle. Because we pray a lot in Nigeria, people pray before they travel with their family, and when they get on the steady, they do otherwise. Except if the prayer is capable of taking over your mind and your heart and ensure that you comply with the rules and regulations that guides the road. These are the issues we are talking about now. You understand? You must be conscious and obey the rules and regulations that guides the ethics of driving. And most people don't, even driving schools these days, people just go and get a certificate.
We are coming to that point. But before we get to the driving school and that certificate, we'll get to that point. But let's talk generally on roads first before we get to that peak. Are there universal principles that governs road and road safety that it's applicable, that can be applicable in Europe, in Nigeria, in Africa, in Asia? Is there a uniform principle?
No, there is a global standard.
Okay.
There is a global standard. For example, the Global Alliance of Road Safety NGOs is an organization, is an arm of the United Nations that houses over 300 to 400 NGOs. You understand me? And they empower these NGOs across the world to preach the gospel of road safety in their countries globally. Now, what we are talking here now is universal, because when you talk about road accident, there's no difference. If you are driving on the road in Europe, you are driving on the road in Nigeria, but the difference over there is that the technological innovations that has been applied are not yet applied here. For example, if you talk of ITS, Intelligent Transport System, that's ITS, the use of technology to reduce road accident. I think for now, the application in Nigeria is, let me say, I don't know whether it's even been applied. If you look at far north, if you talk of Zafara, for example, now, where you have a lot of kidnapping along the road, you have a lot of challenges why people go on the road. If the plate numbers and the cars moving there are automated, what I mean automated is that they are now technologically driven. Even the security agencies can use it to track and see the vehicles while they move on those roads. If anything happens from their office, they can see that, yeah, this social vehicle that is moving has an issue. Those vehicles can be tracked. Nigeria is within the world. We are not in another planet. So all this thing that is happening here and people feel there's no solutions, when I stay and look at it, it sounds funny. You understand me? Now, if the road safety situation is technologically driven, and those who have the technological know-how are involved in the solution for road accident prevention, definitely we'll get this. It's not a nuclear, what do you call it now?
Rocket science.
It's rocket science, thank you. It's not a rocket science. But now, those who are involved, or those who know the techniques and the technologies to prevent these things are not in the system. If you look at the UN Decade of Action, 2021-2030, that was launched, we handed over the plan to the government of Nigeria. My organization, Road Accident Prevention Network Center, sponsored and directed by the Global Alliance, handed over to the Nigeria government in November 2021. Up to now, I don't know whether there is any level of compliance or enforcement by the government to comply with the global standard. We know they have what they call national road safety strategies. They are forming, what do you call it now? FC just launched is it a National FCT Transportation Council Forum? State are launching those forums. Now, what are the technologies or what are the principles in place to implement the global standard that will help save lives and properties on our roads? Are they being enforced? Are they being implemented? Are they in line with the global practice? So a lot of questions are there begging for answers. You understand? So I appreciate this forum, the signature, for giving us this opportunity to air this view. But then the government need to wake up to their responsibilities. At a time we call for an emergency on the Nigerian road, when we call for that social emergency during a press release, does not mean that we are crisis driven or we are trying to put the government on edge. What we are trying to do is to draw the attention of the government to our highways. And now there are a lot of initiatives that can be introduced to even secure our roads. Because of intellectual criminals and people who are not committed to this cause, when they hear you now, they're going to start something tomorrow. Or because they have network with the government, they'll start. For example, if you ask all the vehicles in Nigeria now to fix a camera, all the luxurious buses, to fix a camera on their vehicles, hidden cameras, that is like a pin. Nobody, are you telling me that our vehicle will not be on satellite? I mean, our highways will not be on satellite. All our highways will be on satellite. If you tell APC to fix it, even their investment will be secured. Are you getting me now?
Yeah.
The transportation sector is one of the biggest sector in the economy. And for those who are operating in those sectors, to secure their investment, they must adhere to the global standard principles and employ the services of experts to see that their investment is secured. It's not, for example, if is this Cisco, ABC, all those people who do normal road travels, the biggest ones in Nigeria here, you buy vehicles in hundreds of millions. You have not put in place security to secure those vehicles. Have you succeeded in the business?
But Prince, actually, a lot of people have, even speaking along this line, a lot of people have argued that, a lot of people will say, rather, that civil society organizations and also even the Roads Accident Prevention Network Center has not been doing enough of orientations, especially to people at the grassroots. How correct is this statement?
No, see, let me tell you. If you look at the action plan of the UN Decade of Action, 2021-2030, involving civil society in decision making is one of the major part and factor that the UN pushes forward to all the countries of the world. Involving civil society organizations. Now, no matter your effort and commitment, if you are not carried along by the government, your point is yeah, let me say, your effort is at zero level. You understand what I'm saying?
Even at road accident prevention?
Definitely, because the government has a lot of role to play. They are the major coordinating factor. For example, the Ministry of Transportation, for example, or the State Commissioners Transportation Forum.
But
These are institutions.
Do we need the government to print flyers to share at different local parks?
No.
Do we need the government to get to feeder roads to be able to advocate and tell people the kind of way to drive and speed level? Are we doing a lot of orientation at the local government, at the local level?
The government are supposed to drive the policy.
But civil organizations have to champion the cause of this policy.
Yes, the government has to drive the policy and put in place measures. The authorities then make the laws. For example, if the government comes up today and say, look, this is what we want, and this is what we want to happen on our highways, and then put civil society organizations in the system. For example, NOA, National Restitution Agency, if you ask me now, what is their role in advocating for road safety in Nigeria? National Restitution Agency, NOA. These are Ministry of Information. What role have they played in carrying in collaborating and carrying along NGOs in road safety in Nigeria? Now, these are questions. Are you getting it? Now, you need to identify. If I may recall, one of the presidents of Russia those days said that those who have the solutions in Africa are not always in power. Those who have the solutions to African problems they're always in the corridor of power. But if you are in power and you employ the services of these people and you bring them on board, there's no way you will not reduce all these crises. People are alive now. I'm very sorry to say this. Many will go down between now and December while they travel home. It's a sure bet. Many will go down while they travel. Why? You see crocodile vehicles. This is a road you've not moved on for years. Maybe between January and December, you've not traveled on those roads. You just get told in December, you bought a new car, you carry your family, you are moving down to the village. You don't know the level of vehicles that have broken down on those highways. You don't know the nature of the roads. You don't know the hotspots. They have not been identified. Basically, before now, hotspots, for example, from Abuja to Enugu need to be identified and published by the government or road safety agencies. Between Abuja and Enugu, these are the danger spots. If you are driving from Abuja to Lagos, these are the spots that are dangerous. If you are driving from Abuja to Kano or Kaduna, these are the spots that are very dangerous. Slow down. It's not about putting road signs. Everybody has a phone. Most people have what you call Android phones. If the government employ the services of civil society organizations, this information will be disseminated into homes. Are you getting my point? As you are traveling, this spot is dangerous, that spot is dangerous. This is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. It's not about, what do I call it now? Aimless or untargeted campaign. Our campaign should be targeted with technologies to enable us achieve our aims and objectives.
The government, let's agree that the government is sleeping on its responsibility. Civil societies, you've mentioned you have a plan from 2021 to 2030. So which means the civil society have a role to play.
Definitely.
And you've submitted your blueprints and goals to the government. And they've not been able to attend to it in terms of implementation, if I get you correctly.
100%.
So I'm asking at this point, while waiting for the government, what have civil society...
No, definitely, we are working.
Okay, so let's get to know some of those
we
things.
are working.
Because most people, like I said before, most people will argue that, or most people will say rather, that civil society organizations are not doing enough. That's why the accidents are not being prevented in Nigeria.
No, let me clarify something.
All right.
We are doing enough.
All right.
For example, conferences, seminars, advocacy. Last week I was in Nasarawa State. I met with the sector commander. We agreed on some of the activities we need to do in Nasarawa State. On the 25th of this month, I think the FCT command will be carrying out...
President, this development and all of this meeting sounds urban. we're asking, and Nigerians want to know, what are civil society organizations doing at the local level?
No,
Because
definitely.
accidents happens in both rural and urban settings, but then we've seen a lot of attention being given to urban areas. For example, road commands, of the road safety and other organizations find themselves in the capital city. But then we have accidents still in local government. Are civil society doing enough? Because you are an authority in this field. You are the board chairman of the road safety NGOs in Nigeria. And so I'm asking, of all the coalition of NGOs in Nigeria on road safety, are they doing enough in preventing accidents?
They are doing.
Let's hear some of those.
No, they are doing their best. For example, there's community advocacy.
Okay.
Community advocacy has to do with local communities. Most of the highways, there's nowhere along the line you have communities. Along the highways, and those communities, anytime there's an accident, they are the first responder that comes out. We've tried to educate them on how to rescue accident victims along the highways. Some NGOs are doing that. Then when you talk of awareness campaigns are going on. We'll try our best to do these campaigns. Like your media now is on with us partnering. We are doing a lot to see how people get educated, get to know the consequences of reckless driving and all that. That is at the advocacy level. Now, NGOs are the ears and mind of the people. That's why that is how the global community sees it. They are the one that can even create a level ground for government operations and create synergy between the people and the enforcement agencies, so that they don't see them as enemies. When you see crisis, when people see VIO and they are fighting them, or there's zero because there's no proper education, they thought these people are out to attack them. You get it? So NGOs are trying their best, and they are doing enough to see that the relationship between the enforcement agencies and the road users is smoothened or is flexible, so that people don't attack them or fight them when they come out to do their work. But the major thing now is advocacy. This is where ALGON come in, Association of Local Government of Nigeria. All the parks in the local governments, the National Road Transport Workers, Road Transport Employer Association of Nigeria, written, and other agencies, that is critical stakeholders, NATO, National Association of Road Transport Owners. These are people who are supposed to come together on a round table and continue this advocacy year in, year out. It's not about Ebermont is here, let us start talking to people now. These are preventable measures. It's not that the devil is at work in December. We are not living on another planet or in another space. Everybody says this December, we will now see prayers in church, mosque everywhere. Accident is this is when accident happen. This is when they suck blood. All those kind of things. The road will not suck your blood. You have a lot of role to play physically. You understand me?
Yeah.
Let not be too religious and spiritual about it. There are practical steps we need to take to ensure safety on our roads, and everybody is concerned. Everybody has a lot of role to play about it. You must obey traffic rules and regulations and ensure that you comply with the relevant laws that govern the roads to ensure that your lives and the lives of your family is safe. So that is the point.
All right, thank you for that clarification. I asked that question because Nigerians out there are curious to even know what NGOs are doing generally in terms of road prevention. You've heard it from the board chairman that they're doing a lot to ensure that the roads are safe from their little end, that they're doing a lot of advocacy to support the road safety and other sister organizations to ensure that the Nigerian road accidents are prevented. You've heard it from him. But let's move on at this point, Prince Ache. Let's talk about the technologies of this road safety and some of the measures being put in place by road safeties. Look at it. Let's do an assessment again, a critical assessment of some of these technologies being put in place. Are we ripe for technology at this point in time? Is Nigeria set for road safety technologies, as it were, right now?
We are set for the technologies.
All right.
We are more than set for the technologies. What we need is proper orientation.
Mr. Chair, I'm asking this question because most viewers are watching us. Most people are residents in local areas where they don't enjoy the type of power supply that we enjoy, or some of us enjoy. Let me use that word. So we're asking this question. If we say road safety have created an app, already there's an app that they can use you can report incidents and accidents. They are working on modalities. They are working on open call lines that you can call for emergencies and you get road safety officers. But then people that stay in rural areas, most of them have epileptic power supply. Is a challenge. In other areas, they'll have other challenges that's confronting them heads up. So I'm asking at this point, looking at the political terrain, looking at where we find ourselves right now, should we be talking about technologies in accident prevention, or we should look other ways to prevent accidents in the country?
Technology is the way to go. What was is the way to go? When you talk about globalization, there's nothing like village anymore. Are you getting my point?
Okay.
You're talking about globalization. There's no community now. You don't see people using Go TV, DSTV, mobile phones, and all that. It's a globalized world we are living now. So we arrive for the technology. What they need to do is to cover our highways with a satellite-based system. That's why you talk of ITS, Intelligent Transport System. The use of technologies. For example, there are technologies, if a driver is sleeping, there will be a beep. There's something on, you just fix that device in the car. While he's sleeping, there will be a beep that will wake him up. You understand me? That is one. If they are, like I told you before, there are the plate numbers we are using, I don't know. If you ask them to upgrade it now, the fear is that it might come up with cost. You need to pay this to upgrade to this, you need to pay this to upgrade to that. And then another crisis will erupt based on what Nigerians are facing now. If not, if we employ technologies and decide to domesticate and implement them, it will not only solve or reduce road accident, it will cause the issue of kidnapping. Yeah, it will cause the issue of kidnapping. And even help the security agencies who are working tirelessly to see how they can reduce this issue of kidnapping and criminality on our highways. Are you hearing this in Ghana? Are you hearing it in South Africa? Or in all those places? Are they not on the same continent, this thing with us? Why is it here? What are they applying? What measure are they applying? It's technology. If the criminal knows that, yes, he will be seen from his hideout, he will not be there. We're not talking of drones and other things now. If the criminal knows that he will be seen from his hideout when he wants to kidnap along the highway, he will not be there.
So if one gets to a place like you're traveling to the interior part of the north,
yeah,
and let's say you've passed through Akwanga, you're going through Zaria, and you're going through the forest. Towards that point, there's a point where you get to and there's no network.
This network we are talking about, if it's satellite based, you understand me? We are talking, if it's a satellite based system, there will be network everywhere. The network we are saying now is because we're talking about MTN, Glo, and the rest of them. That is what we use. The government can deploy a satellite based system. I don't know if we have any, Nigeria has any satellites in the space now. Other countries in Africa has. I don't know whether our one is functioning. If we have a satellite based system, there's nowhere that we will not be able to visualize.
That satellite system will also need to be powered with electricity.
They will have solar systems.
Okay.
Most of the satellites now are being powered by solar. They are being powered by solar. Those ones in the space, is the electric they use to power them? We have a lot of satellites in the space. They are powered by solar because they are closer to the sun. They don't go off day in, day out. You understand? We are not talking of satellite powering your home now with solar and whatever. It is doable. It's not something that is not. It's not like I told before. It's not a rocket science. If we are ready to resolve this, for example, if you talk of the level of the way people are getting involved in trying to resolve the communal and other crises that has to do on the highways, in the communities, kidnapping and the rest of them, it's going down because everybody is getting involved now. I watched a video yesterday where the Niger Delta people came out. They are all in their forest now to flush out bandits. They are not waiting for the government to come and decide for them. They are not waiting for the army to come and decide for them. You get it? So if we, all road users, agree to get committed to the technological innovations, and the government comes up with the policies on their own part, we will get this issue solved. We'll get this issue solved and resolved within the time limit. But are the right people in place? That's the question. Are they involving those who have the solutions in the implementation of these policies? Is it on party basis? Is it on who you know? Bring your brother to the system. Does your brother has the whole solution? Does he has the technological know-how? These are the challenges we are facing. You understand? Are you bringing an expert to resolve this issue? Or are you bringing your brother to come and benefit from the government? Or your sister to come and benefit? So if you bring in experts who have the solutions, there's no way we'll not get it done.
Mr. Chair, speaking of technology and advancement, a lot of people are also calling for the government to come up with special marshals of road safety calls at local level. That is, even if it's volunteer corps, that will be able to support the road safety in ensuring that they deliver effectively. So they can be the first point of call before the road safety and other security agencies arrive at a scene. Can this be the way to go in preventing
It's another
accidents?
big way. Another big way. Another big way. Now, Nigerians are very good in volunteering. If you see an accident now, if you travel on the highway and if you see the way people stop for rescue, it will amaze you. They don't know the person, or you see hundreds of cars parked trying to rescue the victims. So if you set up a volunteer corps within communities or within the country, working, for example, with maybe Algon, Association of Local Government, or any organization that has a network that connects all the local governments and communities, it's a very good way to go. But they need to be identified. You understand? They need to be identified and empowered and authorized by the right authorities, for them to be enforced. It's not that you say, okay, RAPNEC is trying to set up a volunteer scheme that will cover the federation to see how road accidents is being prevented. At the end of the day, what is the security for those volunteers? What criminals get into the system and begin to wear the same uniform and tell you they are volunteers and begin to kidnap or kill people? So that's why we say government has a role to play.
But why is the government not even looking towards that direction?
No, the government is like me and you. They need ideas. They need support from the masses. They need the right people to work with. It's not that government have automatic solutions to all problems. It's just that because of our political nature and the way things goes in this country, people withdraw their ideas. They hoard their ideas from the government. They hoard solutions from the government. They don't release their ideas to resolve the problem we have in the country. Why? Because they feel they are not benefiting from it. If not, it's not that we don't have people who can solve all these problems that we are facing today in the country. We have a lot of people that can solve these problems that we are facing today, either on the roads or in other sectors. But because of the political nature and structure of our country, people withdraw their ideas. They hold their address. They don't release these ideas to the government because they feel they are not benefiting. They are not being paid for it. If I leave this idea was my own, these people will use it to go and solve the problem and make the money. You get it?
Mm.
So people hold their ideas from the government. That's why the government need to be holistic in their approach and call for a collaborative effort. Discussing with stakeholders on constant basis on how to resolve these issues. It's not that Deba month is here and people are panicking. Many families will be traveling. Many might not come back. We pray they come back safely. But Is it anywhere is written that in December you must travel?
It's a culture. It's an African culture where we return back home to at least see home. well, well, yeah, maybe Prince Chance, maybe your place is around. We that came from very far distance, we need to go and see him. but let's even talk about this technology, like you've rightly mentioned that people said it doesn't concern them. So the government, sometimes they hijack the ideas and they don't get, people that initiate them don't get to benefit from this idea. That could be a way to go why people hide their ideas. But then these technologies, as it stands right now, I understand that the road safety has come up with a lot of technology innovations. But these innovations often hit a gridlock when it has to do with local transporters. And I know you are at the forefront of advocating for accident prevention, but we don't get to see local road users comply to technological innovation. What is your organization, Road Accident Prevention Network, what is it doing in this regard?
No, the issue is what you are saying now goes down to enforcement. It boils down to enforcement. You can come up with a policy, you can come up with a solution. Is it being complied with?
No, when it gets to the grassroots, for example, let's use Lagos as a case study. By the time your idea gets to, by the time your technology gets to Lagos and it meets down for drivers, it becomes a very interesting policy because the tendency of compliance is very slim, but it's there. What is your organization doing in this regard?
No, what we are doing right away is that we're looking at bringing this people to the round table, see how you can get them involved, educate them about the way to go when it comes to issue of road accident prevention. Then we'll try our best. We have coordinators all over the country in some states. Those coordinators are there working with some of the state transportation agencies, working with FROSC and other stakeholders to see how they can address this, this incident. Now, but then the unions, the transportation unions and transportation companies need to be involved. That's why they need to have a safety department.
But are you collaborating with them already?
No, we are collaborating with them.
Let's hear that collaboration.
We are collaborating with them. Like we are collaborating with the National NITW. We are working with the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. That's written, and some of them. But much needs to be done. A lot of work needs to be done because they are the one that owns and controls most of these transporters. They have their task force. We have NATO, National Association of Road Transport Owners. They have a lot of vehicles. Most of the truck, Pengasin, all those people who control the trucks, Morman, Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, they are there. But then these people need to constantly be on the table to educate their members and pass the message of safety, the gospel of safety to these people, especially drunk driving, using of drugs and all manner of things while they're on the highways. They need to introduce measures and policies and initiatives. These are the channels and the approach that are very, very, very important to help our efforts in achieving our aims and objectives. You understand? These institutions are there. It's not even about releasing money now. Get involved. Because most of this app is based on ignorance. That's the highest point. Somebody will carry, I was in Nasarawa State last week. You see some rams on top of a vehicle. On top of a vehicle. You see people sitting with those rams. You see people in the boot of a car with animals. I'm telling you, life is not, it's what I saw with my eyes. I said, what is the meaning of this? They will tell you the country is hard, everybody need to move to their destination because of high rate of transport. Animals and human beings are now moving together in the vehicle in some states. And those people don't care because they might be paying less to get on board with animals, to get on board with goats and sheep and cows. Are you seeing the challenge that is building up? These are scenarios, dangerous scenarios. These animals have horns. Any small thing, those things, everybody there is gone. Are you getting it? So these are scenarios that are evolving, they are coming up. And if you dare challenge some of these people, even the community will rise up. That's the challenge the enforcement agencies are facing. They'll rise up against you and even maybe destroy the vehicles of that road safety or whoever is trying to stop them from moving, because they say, are you not aware what's happening in the country? How do we move if we don't join animals in the same vehicle? So that's safety first. So advocacy is a critical factor in educating these people and readdressing or revitalizing their mind to ensure that, yes, safety first.
Prince Achebe, before we even begin to pack our things to leave the studio, are there advocacy technologies? Are there technologies that you use to advocate for accident preventions?
There are a lot of technologies.
Okay, please, let's get to hear this.
There are a lot of technologies. I told you before, the family name for the technologies is Intelligent Transport System, ITS.
Is it in place already?
It's in place. It has been in place, but is it being domesticated and implemented?
No, what we mean, if you're driving home your road accident prevention advocacies, are there technologies that you're already using that is successfully tried to use to prevent accidents advocacy?
Outside Nigeria?
No, within Nigeria.
Within Nigeria right now, the Federal Road Safety Commission, FROSC, has some technologies they are deploying. We are non-governmental. We have limits to our operations. Our authority has limits. You cannot introduce technology or enforce any technology without the approval of the government. You understand? The government have the wherewithal to approve innovations and technologies that you implement within the space of Nigeria. Are you getting it? So there are a lot of technologies in place.
Now, Engineer, just as a final take, I'm asking that question to ask, basically, the government have often, by silently speaking, been on a blame game scenario. The citizens are not being proactive. Civil society, according to a lot of persons, will say civil society are not active. The civil society will say that the government is not efficient. The government, so it becomes like a blame game scenario. That's why I'm asking this particular question, so we can be on the same page. But I'm asking this to ask, where do we go from here as a country?
Yes, see, you're asking the right question. When there is a problem and there is a blame game, there is a problem. There's a serious problem. When you are not, the target is not being hit, and the solution is not there, and the masses are complaining, what you see is shifting of blame.
So where do we go from here?
The civil society will say it's the government.
Yeah.
The government will say it's the civil society. But what we are saying right here is that when the right policy is in place, the masses have no option than to comply.
What is the right policy? Because the government right now is listening, and the government would like to know what.
No, for example,
yes.
If you say, okay, look, there's the IRA, International Road Assessment. We did a pilot phase in Otako, Abuja here, Arab Junction. Under GPROS, we call it mobility snapshot and pedestrian safety. We captured live the compliance of vehicles to traffic rules and regulations. At that point, you know the rating? It was 0. You know why? You see car parked on pedestrian, where people are supposed to use leg to cross when the traffic is has given way to pedestrian to cross. A vehicle will stay right on the pedestrian line. That is zebra crossing. Are you getting it? Now, is it the duty of NGO to go and move that vehicle from there? The enforcement agencies need to be up to their game. That's why I'm happy when the Sector Command of FCT introduced a program now that is going, I think it's running right now, to see how they can enforce some of these programs. Some of this is boiled down to enforcement. If you don't enforce, even in your home, if you don't put law in place, there's no way you can handle your home. Even if you are not there, they say, okay, daddy say nobody should sit on this chair. If you are not there, nobody sits there. But if you just allow it, everybody can do whatever they like. So the policy is a critical factor in addressing the issue of compliance and technological implementation and domestication in our country. These are not, you cannot move in as, okay, as an NGO, you are out to see how people comply or how people adhere to laws. No. Collaboration, effective collaboration, will empower the NGOs to implement their initiatives across boards and ensure that the roads are safe. We are working, we are doing enough. It's not blaming NGO or to end the blame game. In summary, the government and the NGOs need to work in synergy, come together and agree on the way to go and implement road safety measures as outlined by the United Nations 2021-2030. That's the timeline. It's already running. We have the Nigerian road safety strategy. Only God knows what is happening now. I don't know how they are going about it, because some NGOs are members anyway. But as far as I'm concerned, whether the strategy is working, during the Osibajo time, he was the chairman as a vice president then of the Nigerian Road Safety Strategy. I don't know whether the present vice president is involved in sharing that the board. You get it? So these are the issues that need to be addressed. It has to do with life. Road safety is the highest. I mean, a road accident is the highest killer, even more than HIV/AIDS, because it doesn't give any notice. Another dreaded diseases that people are going about, cancer and the rest of them, they have preventive measures. You have time to live. They give you drugs to sustain you. You manage it. But road accidents happen instantly. And when they happen, the person is gone. It doesn't give notice. If somebody has, they say somebody have tuberculosis, cholera, cancer, or whatever you call them now, there are drugs to manage them. Are they not there? Road accident there's nothing like that. It happened instant. And when they happen, the person is gone. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So it is one of the highest killer in the world today. And I want to conveniently tell you that Nigeria is one of the leading countries in the world today, based on our population. We have more victims of road crashes across the board. The data collections and the information we are even receiving are not up to date. Why? Because the necessary machineries are not in place to collate these data. When WHO is telling you that 35,000 people die everywhere, road safety is telling you 6,000-7,000. How did WHO get their data? Are you getting it? That's another angle.
Prince Achel, there are a lot of conversations that we will need to even raise at this point, but my producer is signaling me that our time is fast spent, because we cannot exhaust road prevention on conversation on this table. It is an ever-going conversation, because people need to understand what it entails for them to be safe out there. Like you rightly said, road accident doesn't give you a notice. It doesn't give you a notice. It comes when modalities are not being put in place. You've rightly said that, and of course, we really appreciate you for your time and the enlightenment. Of course, this is an advocacy. Whoever is watching right now knows that you've gotten a lot of information that can help you stay out there. You know the technologies that have been put in place, and you know what civil society organizations are also doing. And of course, you've heard it from the president of Road Accident Prevention Network Center, and he has told us a lot of things that they are doing and modalities and structures being put in place to ensure that the roads are safe, and all the collaborations that they are also doing to work with other sister agencies and even with the government and also other civil society coalition group he has mentioned, including Nigerian Road and National Union of Road Transport Workers. He emphasized that they are already collaborating and working together. Well, that's how far we can go today on the show. I want to say thank you so much, Prisa.
It's a pleasure, my pleasure being here. And we're always around anytime you need us for our input and support to see that lives are saved on the road. We are fully committed.
And we will always contact you when the need arises. Thank you so much for your time. Well, viewers, this is how far we can go today. Till I come your way again, same time, same station. Keep watching Signature TV. I am Godwin Sunday. And from all of us here in the studio, it's bye for now. Do enjoy the rest of your day.